We have to start with a car that sparked this entire conversation on the channel. The 2025 Toyota Camry Hybrid. If you're looking at a Toyota RAV4 Hybrid, you are doing it for one main reason: reliability and efficiency. You want that Toyota hybrid system. But here is where the precision part of our channel name matters. Not all hybrids are created equal, and not all platforms deliver the same experience. Let's look at the powertrain. As I explained in my technical breakdown of the Gen 5 versus Gen 4 systems, the 2025 Camry is rocking Toyota's 5th-generation hybrid system. This means lighter lithium-ion batteries, more compact motor generators, and a retuned logic that prioritizes electric driving more often. The RAV4. It's still soldiering on with older architecture and mini trims, and the numbers show it. Let's look at the specs for the LE trims. The RAV4 Hybrid manages about 40 miles per gallon combined. Respectable? Absolutely. But the Camry Hybrid LE? It delivers 51 miles per gallon combined. That is a massive 27% difference in efficiency. Over 100,000 miles, that is hundreds, potentially thousands of dollars staying in your pocket rather than going to a gas station. But wait, I hear you say, I need the SUV for the space. Do you? Let's break out the tape measure. The rear legroom in a RAV4 Hybrid is 37.8 inches. The rear legroom in the 2025 Camry? 38.0 inches. You are actually gaining usable leg space by choosing the sedan. Because the Camry sits lower, the hip point is more natural for adults, and the center of gravity is significantly lower. This translates to less head toss for your passengers. If you have kids who get car sick, an SUV swaying through corners is their worst nightmare. The planted, flat cornering of the Camry, thanks to that TNGA-K sedan tuning, is actually the more comfortable family choice. And then there is the price. A base Camry Hybrid comes in around $29,500. The equivalent RAV4 Hybrid starts near $32,700. You are paying a $3,200 SUV tax just to get worse gas mileage and slightly less legroom. From an engineering and economic standpoint, the Camry is simply the superior machine. The Honda Accord Hybrid. If the Camry is the king of efficiency, the Accord is the king of premium space. If you're cross-shopping this, you are looking at the Honda CR-V Hybrid. Now, the CR-V is a fantastic sales success, but when you drive them back-to-back, the difference in refinement is shocking. We need to talk about perceived quality. When engineers design an SUV, they have to deal with a lot of noise. A big, boxy cabin acts like an echo chamber. The rear wheel wells are inside the cabin space with you. To combat this, they add sound deadening, but it's a losing battle against physics. The Accord, being a sedan, has a separate trunk. That bulkhead between the rear seats and the trunk acts as a massive noise isolator. Road noise from the rear tires stays in the trunk, not in your ears. Driving the Accord Hybrid at 70 miles per hour is a serene, near-luxury experience. Driving the CR-V at the same speed introduces wind noise from those big mirrors and tire roar from the open cargo area. Let's talk powertrain philosophy. Honda uses a two-motor hybrid system that mimics shifting. In the Accord, because it's more aerodynamic than the CR-V, the electric motors don't have to work as hard to push the car through the wind. This means the gas engine stays off longer or revs lower when it is on. The result? 44 miles per gallon combined in the Accord Sport versus roughly 37 to 40 in the CR-V hybrid trims. Again, the sedan wins on the pump. But what about the family factor? The Accord offers a staggering 40.8 inches of rear legroom. This is limousine territory. While the CR-V matches it closely on paper, the Accord seat geometry is deeper and more supportive. You sit in the Accord, whereas you sit on the CR-V bench. For long road trips, your passengers will be happier in the sedan. And let's be honest about the price. You're saving roughly $5,000 to $6,000 comparing the starting MSRPs of the hybrid models. That $5,000 could buy you a lot of fuel or a family vacation. Why pay more for a louder, boxier experience? Specifically, the Hyundai Sonata Hybrid versus the Tucson Hybrid. This comparison is fascinating because it exposes the lifestyle tax we pay for SUVs more clearly than any other pair. The Tucson is a great-looking crossover, but aesthetically and mechanically, the Sonata is sleek, futuristic, and aerodynamic. Let's dive deep into the drag coefficient. We rarely talk about this in family car reviews, but we should. The Sonata cuts through the air with significantly less resistance than the Tucson. Why does this matter to you? Highway stability. When you are driving a tall SUV like the Tucson in high crosswinds, you feel it. The car gets pushed around. You have to make constant micro-corrections with the steering wheel. Over a 4-hour drive, that causes driver fatigue. The Sonata, with its low profile and slippery shape, stays planted. It tracks straight. It is less tiring to drive. Under the hood, both use a 1.6-liter turbo hybrid setup with a traditional 6-speed automatic transmission. No CVT drone here. The Sonata Hybrid hits 47 miles per gallon combined. The Tucson Hybrid Blue, 38 miles per gallon. That is nearly a 10 miles per gallon gap. Why? Weight and wind. The Tucson is heavier and pushing a brick wall of air. The Sonata is lighter and slicing through it. The Tucson does have more rear legroom than the Sonata, 41 inches versus 34.8 inches. If you have NBA players in your back seat, the Tucson wins. But for children, car seats, or average adults, the Sonata is perfectly adequate. And in exchange for that legroom trade-off, you get a cabin that feels a generation ahead in terms of tech integration and layout, all for a starting price that is about $2,000 less than the Tucson. If you value driving dynamics and futuristic tech over pure vertical headroom, the Sonata is the smarter buy. Now, I know what many of you are thinking, but I need an SUV for all-wheel drive. I live where it snows. This is the single biggest marketing trick of the last 20 years. The belief that you need a crossover to get traction. Enter the Subaru Legacy. The Legacy is essentially a Subaru Forester that went to finishing school. They share the same core DNA, the boxer engine, the symmetrical all-wheel drive system, but the execution is completely different. When you buy a Forester, you are buying a box on stilts. To keep that box from tipping over in corners, Subaru has to stiffen the springs. This creates a busy ride. You feel the cracks in the pavement. The head toss factor is real. The Legacy sits lower. Because the center of gravity is closer to the road, the engineers didn't have to make the suspension rock hard to keep it stable. They could tune it for compliance. The result? The Subaru Legacy rides better than almost any SUV under $50,000. It absorbs bumps that send shudders through a Forester cabin. And let's talk about that AWD system. In a sedan, AWD performance is actually better than in a high-riding SUV. Why? Weight transfer. When you brake or turn in a tall SUV, weight shifts dramatically, unsettling the tires. In the Legacy, the weight stays evenly distributed, allowing the AWD system to put power down more effectively. You get the same snow-clawing capability as the SUV, but with better handling, better ride quality, and you guessed it, better fuel economy, 30 miles per gallon combined versus the Forester's numbers. If you are buying a crossover solely for winter safety, you are buying the wrong car. The Legacy with a good set of tires will outperform almost any generic SUV on all-season tires, and it will be more comfortable every single day of the year that it isn't snowing. Finally, at number 5, we step into the luxury space. I previously did a detailed breakdown on why the Lexus ES300h costs $10,000 more than a Camry, but today, I want to ask, why would you buy a Lexus RX or a Toyota Highlander when this car exists? The The Lexus ES300h is the ultimate anti-SUV. It focuses entirely on passenger comfort. Many families graduate from a sedan to a luxury SUV like the Lexus RX thinking they are upgrading. But are they? The RX is heavier. It has larger wheels which introduce more impact harshness. It has a higher center of gravity. The ES300h shares the same bulletproof hybrid architecture as the Camry, but refines it to an obsessive level. We're talking about dual-pane glass, active noise cancellation, and suspension tuning that floats over imperfections. Here is the detailed breakdown for the family budget. You can get a lightly used, certified pre-owned ES300h for the price of a brand new, mid-trim Toyota RAV4 or Highlander. Think about that value proposition. For the same money, you could be driving a plastic-heavy, cloth-seat mass-market SUV, or a genuine luxury sedan with Mark Levinson audio, soft-touch leather everywhere, and 44 miles per gallon reliability. The trunk in the ES is massive. It will swallow a stroller and a week's worth of groceries easily. Unless you are buying furniture every weekend, the utility of the SUV is largely wasted space that you are paying to haul around. The ES300h proves that the sedan format is still the pinnacle of luxury travel. There is a reason executives get driven in sedans, not crossovers. Isolation, smoothness, silence. If you want the best for your family, why wouldn't you want those traits too?